It is the second week of July. You walk into the grocery store, and the bin right by the front door is piled high with watermelons. $6 a piece, 7 for the big ones. You pick one up, you turn it over in your hands, and the truth of it is you have no idea what you are looking for. So you give it a thump the way your daddy used to, and you stand there hoping you will remember what sound you are supposed to be listening for. You don't. Nobody ever told you. So you pick the prettiest one, you carry it home, and you hope for the best. Saturday afternoon, the family is out on the porch, and you cut it open at the kitchen table, and your heart sinks a little. The flesh is pale, more pink than red. The white of the rind runs near an inch thick, and that first bite is watery and mealy, and there is hardly any taste to it at all. $6. And half of it goes out to the chickens. Now I want you to sit with that a minute, because I am going to tell you something that is going to change the way you walk up to a pile of melons for the rest of your life. There is no luck in picking a watermelon. There never was. Every grandmother in this country once knew how to walk up to a wagon full of melons at the side of the road and pick the sweetest one in the whole pile every single time. They did not guess. They did not thump it once and shrug. They had a set of little tests they ran before they ever handed over a coin, and not one of those tests is hard, and not one of them costs you a thing. You can learn the whole set in the time it takes this video to play, and you will never bring home a bad melon again. My name is Amos. I grew up in the mountains, back in a holler where the nearest store was a long way off and money was shorter than the road. We grew what we could and we bought what we had to, and when my grandmother bought, she did not waste a nickel. I can still see her at the produce stand, turning a melon over in her hands, pressing her thumb here, holding it up to her ear there, before she would so much as nod. Her mother taught her, and her mother before that. We could not afford to bring home a bad one. That is the plain truth of it. Poverty made us careful, and careful made us wise. And that wisdom has just about died out. Not because it stopped working. It works as well today as it did 100 years ago. It died out because nobody passed it down, and because the fella stacking that bin at the store has no reason on earth to teach you to pick the good one. To him, the bad melon and the good melon both ring up the same $6. So today, I am going to be your grandmother. I am going to walk you through the 7 tests the old mountain folk used: the ground spot, the tail, the thump, the give, the weight, the shape, and the webbing. We will do them in order, the way I do them when I walk up to a pile, and I will save the most important one, the one that almost nobody checks anymore, for the very end. Stay with me to that last one, because if you only ever learn one of these, that is the one. Now, before we get into it, one quick word, and then I will not bring it up again. The old ways my people live by, there is far more of it than fits in any one video. The growing, the canning, the keeping, the saving of seed, the whole of it. I gathered what I could of it into a book, and you will find it down in the description if you have a mind to. The book is the long version. It is there if you want it. That is all I will say on it. All right? Let us pick a melon. The first test is the thump. And I am starting here because it is the one everybody already half knows and the one most folks get wrong. You knock on the melon with your knuckle like you are knocking on a door. What you are listening for is a deep, low, hollow sound. A ripe melon rings out like a barrel that is near full of water. Boom, low and loose and a little hollow. An unripe melon gives you a high, tight, dead sound, a dull thunk like knocking on a green log, because the flesh inside is still packed hard and tight. And a melon that has gone too far the other way, overripe, gives you a soft, thick, padded sound, like thumping a pillow. Low and hollow is what you want. Tight and dead, set it down. Now here is the honest part. The part the internet will not tell you. The thump is real, but the thump alone will fool you. Two melons can sound near the same. So we never stop at the thump. It is the first word, not the last. The second test is the weight. Pick your melon up, then pick up another one right beside it, about the same size, and feel which one is heavier. You want the heavy one, every time. A watermelon is better than 9 parts water by weight, and water and sugar are what give it heft. A melon that feels heavy for its size is a melon that is full of juice and full of sweet. A melon that feels light for how big it looks is a melon that is going dry and pithy inside. So heft 2 of a size, and take the one that feels like it is hiding a brick. The store will not mind. They charge by the melon, not the pound. The third test is the shape. Just step back and look at the whole melon. You want one that is even, smooth, and full and symmetrical. The same fat shape all the way around. What you are turning away from is the melon with flat sides, or dense, or a lumpy lopsided shape. Fat on one end and pinched on the other. And here is the why of it. Because the why is what makes you remember. A watermelon swells up sweet only where the bees did their work. An even, well-shaped melon got visited by plenty of bees all the way around, and it ripened even and sweet all the way through. A lopsided melon got shorted, the bees missed a side, and that melon will be sweet in one bite and white and flavorless in the next. Even shape, even sweet. Remember that. The fourth test is the give. Take your thumb and press. Gentle on the blossom end. That is the end opposite the stem, the soft little circle on the bottom. On a ripe melon, you will feel just the smallest, give a little spring to it, like pressing the heel of your hand. Rock hard, like pressing on a bowling ball, and that melon was picked too green, and it will never sweeten now. Soft and mushy, and it has gone past its time. A little give is all you want. Just a little. The fifth test is the tail. And by the tail, I mean 2 things. So look close. First, the stem where it was cut from the vine. You want that stem brown and dried and shriveled. A brown stem means the vine let go of that melon on its own, in its own time, because the melon told it, I am done, I am ripe. A green stem, fresh and damp looking, means somebody cut that melon off the vine early, before it was ready, to ship it hard so it would not bruise. Brown tail, good. Green tail, leave it. And second, if there is a little curly tendril left up near where the stem joins on, the little pigtail curl of vine, look at that too. Brown and dry, the melon is ripe. Green and alive, it is not. The vine and the melon ripen together. When the tail dies back, the sugar is in. Now we are coming to the 2 that matter most. Stay with me. The 6th test is the ground spot. And folks, if I could make you check only one thing, it would be this one. Turn the melon over and look at its belly, the side that lay on the ground out in the field. You will find a pale patch there where the sun never touched it. That patch is the single best thing on the whole melon, for telling you the truth. You want that ground spot to be a deep, creamy, buttery yellow. The color of fresh butter or the yolk of a good egg. That deep yellow means that melon lay out in that field a long, long time, ripening slow in the warm dirt, turning its sugar up day after day. Now, if that patch is white or pale, or has a green tinge to it, put the melon down and walk away. White means it was hauled off the field too soon, before it ever finished. It did not get its time. No amount of sitting on your counter will fix it, because here's a hard truth about watermelons that the store will never tell you. A watermelon does not ripen one bit after it is picked. Not one bit. Whatever sweetness it had the day it was cut is all the sweetness it will ever have. So that ground spot is not just a clue. It is the whole story. Deep, buttery yellow, you are bringing home sugar. White, you are bringing home water. Check the belly. Always check the belly. And the seventh test, the last one, the one almost nobody alive still checks, is the webbing. Look close at the skin of the melon, all over it, and you are hunting for what looks like rough, brown, corky little scars. Some folks call it webbing. Some call it sugar lines or bee sting. It looks like somebody drew faint brown spider webs or rough netting on the rind. And when you find a melon that has a lot of it, you grab that melon, because that webbing is the fingerprint of the bees. Every one of those brown scars is a spot where a bee landed and pollinated the flower that became this melon. And the more the bees worked that flower, the more seeds set inside, and the more sugar the melon poured in to feed them. Heavy webbing means a melon the bees loved. And a melon the bees loved is a melon you will love. That is the secret my grandmother checked last and smiled at every single time. Most people walk right past it. Now you won't. So there they are. The 7. The thump, low and hollow. The give, the smallest spring at the blossom end. The tail, brown and dried. The ground spot, deep buttery yellow. And the webbing, the more the better. Run those 7 in that order, and I promise you, in under a minute, standing right there in the store, you will pick the sweetest melon in that whole bin. Every time. Now, let me tell you the part that gets under my skin a little. Why does nobody know this anymore? Why did your mother not teach you and her mother not teach her? I will not stand here and tell you there was some meeting in a back room where they decided to keep it from you. It is worse than that, in a way, because it is nobody's fault and everybody's loss. There is just no money in a careful shopper. The store would rather you grab the first melon you touch, good or bad, and pay your $6 and never know the difference. There is no profit in teaching you to feel for the heavy one. So the knowledge stopped getting passed at the kitchen table. One generation forgot to tell the next, and now a whole country stands in the produce aisle, thumping once and guessing. You do not have to guess anymore. You have been taught now, the same as if you had stood next to my grandmother at that roadside stand. So here is what I want you to do this week. Go to the store, or better yet, the farm stand, and do not buy 1 melon, pick up 3. Run the 7 test on all 3. Find the heavy one with the buttery yellow belly and the brown tail and the webbing, and buy that one. Take it home and cut it open in front of your family and watch their faces on that first bite. Because once your children have tasted what a properly picked watermelon is actually supposed to taste like, sweet, clear through, juice running off their chins, they will never let you bring home a bad one again. And the next time you go, they will want to do the test with you. That right there is how the knowledge comes back. One sweet melon at a time. Now I want to hear from you. Down in the comments, tell me which of the 7 tests you had never heard of before. Was it the ground spot, the webbing, the tail? I am betting it was the webbing for most of you. And tell me this too. Tell me what county you were in, and whether your own grandmother had a trick for picking a melon that I did not mention here today. Maybe she sniffed it. Maybe she had a saying. Those little family tricks are exactly the kind of thing that gets lost forever when nobody writes them down. And I would dearly love to gather them up. I read every single comment that comes in, every one. Next time, I am going to take you through the cantaloupe, the muskmelon, because it is a different animal entirely. And the tests that work on a watermelon will lead you wrong on a cantaloupe. There is one thing you smell right at the end of the melon that will tell you everything. And the store has no idea you know to check it. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Until then, look for the heavy one with the buttery belly. And remember, the bees and the sun and the good dirt wrote you a love letter on the side of every sweet melon they ever made. From here on out, you know how to read it.